What's up, TikTok? It's Safe Space Sunday, and I am here to spread some love, some cheer, some joy, to let you know that you are loved, that God loves you, and I hope that everybody is having a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous Sunday. Yes, Sam, you are first. Hi, the one skeptic. How are you doing? Good to see everybody coming in. Stay for a while, ask some questions. I wanted to, and hi, Queenia. Good to see you. Hi, NTHR. Good to see you. And so, if when you come in, if there is a preferred name, hello Oyster, that you would prefer me to say, then what your screen name is, and I will try to remember that name. Then please let me know. All you can do, you know what I did, I put in my link tree, I put links to support me, because I know there are a lot of people that were like asking, like, how can we support you and all that kind of stuff, like can we donate to your ministry and that sort of thing. And so I put in my link tree, I put like my a link to pay my PayPal, as well as I think there's another, like, check my link tree. I know I actually recently joined Patreon. And so, and hello, good to see you, Nia. All right. I will try to remember that. I cannot promise I'm gonna remember everybody. So, but I will try to remember that. Thank you so much for giving me your name. Yep. Yep. In my link tree, my Patreon has an option to just give, and it's like like a small amount, just on a monthly basis or whatever, just to help support the work that I'm doing. Because let's just be honest about it, you know, takes time, right? And so I appreciate everyone that has decided to give and to, thank you so much, Sam. And even through this, I even forgot about the fact that even through a live, you can give. And so I certainly appreciate everything. You don't understand just how appreciative. I don't take anything for granted. I don't take for granted my followers. Beans and rice and Jesus Christ, I love it. Yes. I don't take for granted the fact that y'all follow me. God bless you, Sam. Thank you so much. I don't take hello, can't believe you're doing this. Good to see you. Good to see you always. Y'all don't have to follow me. Y'all don't have to engage with me on my lives. Y'all don't have to do any of that stuff. Y'all do that from the kindness of your hearts, and I appreciate that. Hello, Missy. I can't thank you enough for just the love that y'all show me, and the love that y'all show each other. I was talking to my wife. You are such a blessing to me, Sam. Thank you, and Chris. Thank you so much. God bless y'all. I was talking to my wife just yesterday about the fact that I'm like, I love the people that follow me, because we're like adults with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're adults with it. Like, there's been times that I've mistaken someone's comment, right? And thought they were being mean, but they weren't really. It just, over the internet, you can't tell inflection. You can't tell what folks are really trying to say sometimes. And so I've taken it the wrong way. And I responded, and folks are quick to come back and say, oh, no, 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 I didn't mean it that way. This is what I meant. Adults, you know what I'm saying? No one gets offended. Nobody's like, how dare you think, and then even with one another, people have had disagreements or whatever. And then just the way y'all treat one another is so kind. Y'all are so kind to one another, as far as like the love that y'all show. Yep. Today it is 2 o'clock where I am. I am on the East Coast of the United States. Yep. Oh, thank you. And my wife is a blessing to me. She's awesome. And yeah, and she's been sharing my videos, and so it's just a blessing to have her. But and then I love the way y'all protect me and the other LGBTQ people. And when folks that are trolls come on, how y'all protect one another and how we protect one another, because y'all be going in on folk, and I love like, and not in like just because nobody is mean. Like, everybody is coming from a place of like knowledge and understanding, and like like be gone, troll. Like, what are you doing here? And like, let me enlighten you on what's for real going on. Like, this is not the space for that type of engagement. And that is just so positive to me. And so this is what I've created here, that I'm calling Safe Space Sunday, where, and I'm gonna get, and if you could put your questions in the question thing. I see yours, Ethan. I'm gonna talk about it in just a second. But if y'all could put your questions in the question box so that I don't have to run back and see them. I can see them in the tally, because things move quick and I miss it sometimes. But what I try to do on Safe Space Sundays is provide a safe space for LGBT and allies to come to just be loved on, to just love on one another, for me to love on you, pray for you, whatever you need in this moment. Because we don't always have that. We don't always have that fellowship and that community. Everybody doesn't have that that community, and it's so important. That affirming community is so important for your well-being. And if you somebody who does not have that in real life, then let this be that space for you. So I'm not going to be defending those scriptures today, not on this. There'll be time for that. I'm not going to be doing all of that type of stuff today, because that's just not the place. This is not the place for it. This is a safe space. So if you have something negative to say, just don't even put it. If you do put it, just know that it will be an immediate block. I don't want this to be an unsafe space for anybody. If you come being mean, then you're creating an unsafe space. If you're coming to just listen, then this is even a safe space for you, right? So we don't even have to agree on every bullet point. But as long as we can agree on humanity and being kind, then we're on the same page. So what was your epiphany that we're not damned? Okay, hold on. So you put that in there. Let me get back to my message today. So I preached about Noah and the ark, and I preached about the fact that we can we can choose how we're going to go through the storms of life. Storms of life will come, because that's just life. But I identified three different types of entity that went through the storm. The first being those that didn't make it, right? Those that got everything swept away because they were rebellious, right? So I know for myself, I've had to start over before, and I know it was because God was telling me, hey, this way, here's safety. And I'm like, no, I don't want safety. I want to do it my way. And then got swept away. Everything got swept away, and and had to start over. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Then number two, you could be the animals, that they were just herded onto the ark. They didn't know. I'm sure they were angry about it. They didn't have an idea of safety. They just wanted to be free. But Noah was like, put this rope around you and tie you up and cage you. And sometimes we go into the ark kicking and screaming. I know I've been there where I'm like, I don't understand why God has me in this place in this season. I want to be free. I want to do what I want to do. I want to say what I want to say and act how I want to act. And God is like, no, you don't. And it pulls me right in. But then in hindsight, I look back and I'm like, whoa, okay, I was being protected in that season. And then, of course, the Noah character, who is the character who is able to weather the storm and knows, okay, let's build an ark. Let's get in the ark. Let's be safe in the ark, and our ark is Jesus Christ. And so in any case, that was the sermon for today. And you can catch that on my Facebook, on Agape Empowerment Ministries Facebook page. It's live, or it was live. And so it can be streamed if you were to go to that, our Facebook. And if you don't have that link, it's in my link tree. So you can go where it says, visit my church. You can click that and it'll take you to our Facebook page. All right, let me get to some of the questions, because I don't want them to start piling up. What do you say when bigots won't change? I honestly say absolutely nothing. Wait, I don't want to. Okay. I say absolutely. When people don't want to change, it is not my job, I don't feel, to try to change them. I have a job, and this is how I feel about like everything. My job is to show a reality that is my reality, to show myself. And if you like that person, great. If you don't, I'm not going to convince you not to, to to like me. You can dislike. You have that right. It's free will. You can feel and act however you want. Maybe not act, but you can feel however you want towards me. Where I do draw the line is actions and words. And I have then the choice to remove myself from you. And I choose to remove myself from people who don't care for me. I do. I choose to remove myself from those people. And I have had to remove myself from family members. I have had to remove myself from friends. I've had to remove myself from unsafe environments because here's the thing, my sanity is more important to me than convincing you or even trying to convince you of something that you probably will never be convinced of. What I feel I can do is plant a seed, and the seeds that I like to plant are the ones that I live, right? So there ain't much you could say about me. If people that know me in real life, ain't much you could say about me. Pretty much the same person, excuse the dogs, day in and day out. And there's not much you could say about me. I'm an honest person. I'm a loving person. I'm a fun person. I'm gay. As far as ministry here in our city, me, my wife, my church, we give to the homeless. We help folks when they need help. We advocate on behalf of people that can't advocate on their own behalf. We stand up even when the fight is not ours. So we are allies to various communities and various people in our city. We try to do the right thing, and always in every decision err on the side. Where would Jesus fall on this? And so I'm gonna fall wherever he would have fallen. So there's not much you can say about me except for I'm gay. If you want to think that that's a bad thing, right? So hey, if that's all you got on me, I done said that already. That ain't no secret. So let's move past it, right? So yeah. So thank you so much. Let me. When was your epiphany that we're not damned? I came into Christianity later and into that knowledge of Christianity later in life. I was Christian, little kid, going to church with my grandmother, but I never really have. Thank you so much, Nia. Please tell me I got that right. Thank you so much. And my grandmother took us to church, but I didn't really have a concept of hell back then. I had a concept of heaven, and that was about it, right? And then as an adult, as later in life, as a teenager, kind of understood the concept of what people would consider hell. And matter of fact, I'm gonna talk about that in just a minute. What people would consider hell, and I was already I was Wiccan at that time. I was pagan, and so that I missed all of that, and I'm like, child, like whatever y'all got going on ain't bothering me. So I really didn't have that concept, and so getting back into Christianity later in life, in my adulthood, I never really had to. I just came in with a different thought process. It was never taught to me. I think the idea of damnation is something that is taught to us, and it's fear that you need to change to be a Christian so you don't get damned. And that's just a horrible theology to begin with, right? That's horrible. Why should I have to scare you into the good news? That makes no sense. And so, but people do it because to them, it has become not about sharing the good news. It has become, let me get folks to be Christian. Let me get people to believe. And because along with, and here's the kicker, along with the religion that I will stuff down their throat, then I will then stuff everything else that goes along that now has all been convoluted to look like Christianity. Somebody came on my page on one of my videos, was like, why are you trying to destroy Christianity? I'm like, I ain't destroying nothing. Because I am dismantling the foolishness that y'all create. You think I'm destroying Christianity? Because I was talking about like the days of the weeks being named after Roman and pagan gods, and why are you destroying Christianity? And it's like, if that is destroying, if the knowledge of the days of the week destroys Christianity, your Christianity is based on something way different than what mine is, because it does not touch my faith to know and to understand where the days of the week come from at all, right? So I never bought into the concept, I don't think. How do you explain the love of God to someone? I explain it through my actions. I explain it through my actions. People will not know Nicki Minaj for president, okay? People will not know the love of God, but through us, those that have received and have the love of God in us to give it to others. That's really the bottom line, you know. I don't have to, I don't feel like I need to explain it. I just need to show it. And then when people receive it from me, then they can receive it for themselves, right? The reason I love like I love is because I've been loved. And I wouldn't have known how to love unconditionally. And I try my best. I'm not perfect. I try to love unconditionally because that's how God has loved me. So, through my actions. That's how you deal with the hate comments. Good question. I have, and I'll be honest with you. When I first got on TikTok, it was culture shock because I have created for myself, and I realized this when I got on TikTok. I have created for myself a very, very sterilized community. I lived in a very cute little bubble that I have made for myself. And I've been blessed to be able to make that bubble for myself here in the South. I only associate with people who are LGBT allies or LGBT themselves. I have made it a point to remove toxic people. And so for the last, I would say 10 years, I have lived in this environment literally where if I even think on like Facebook that you are like a homophobe or a racist, I just block you because I don't need that in my space, right? So I get on TikTok and them jokers start coming out the woodworks and it upset me at first. Like I was troubled. I was like, oh no, no, no. Like, oh, like these people still exist because I literally haven't had to experience them in so long. I'm like, they still exist. And so I honestly, I asked for prayer. I asked for someone to really keep me in prayer because I knew that it was starting to really bother me. It was hindering me being able to even create content or wanting to create content because I didn't want the backlash. And then I applied something I learned in the sales industry. When in sales, you learn to appreciate the no because it's all a statistic. And so the more no's you receive in sales, the closer you are to a yes. And chances are, depending on what your closing was like, my closing was somewhere now around 10%. And so I knew that every 9 no's, I would receive a yes. And so when I would receive no, right, when I get to, like I'll start counting them. Okay, that person said no. All right, I got 8 more to go, right? So I start counting them down. That person said no, cool. I got 7, 6, 5. And then, and more often than not, after I'm getting down to like maybe 1 or 2 more no's, I will receive my yes. And so I have started to implement that to this, where for every, one naysayer, negative comment, I know that I am reaching hundreds, if not thousands, of LGBTQ people and allies that need to hear my message. And so it's worth me going through the foolishness to get to or to be able to minister to those people. So I don't focus on them. I focus on the good people. And thank you for the moderators that are in here. I saw somebody got blocked, so I thank you for you all. How do you deal with the Reaper Doctrine? Fill me in. What is Reaper Doctrine? Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Are you a part of the, I am a part of the LGBTQ community. I am bisexual. I am the B in the LGBTQ community. Thank you. Thanks to you, I know I can be Christian and gay. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. What Bible would I recommend? I honestly have so many Bibles. I did one of my little one of my little videos had some of them, right? But I have everything from the Torah, the Tanakh, to I have Catholic Bibles. I even have a Mormon Bible. Like I have so many Bibles. I don't have a Jehovah's Witness Bible anymore. I used to. But the ones that I utilize for my personal study mostly are the NIV, the ESV, My apologetics Bible, and looking straight at it, is a CSB. And there's one more, the NASB. Yeah, NSRV as well. Those are the Bibles that I use mostly when it comes to studying. I don't have all of them just like sitting around. I very rarely actually pull out a paper Bible anymore. Sometimes I do. But most of the time I go to BibleGateway.com, which has all of the translations, and all I have to do is click a button. I'm spoiled. All I have to do is click a button and it'll change the translation for me. So yeah. End times, like eschatology. So let me go back. Is Christianity the same as non-denominational? Within Christianity, there are several denominations of Christianity. So I am non-denominational Christian, which means that I don't prescribe to a certain set of doctrinal rules from some higher church authority. I am, and you may even consider me a little interdenominational in the sense that I have applied several different doctrines from various denominations that I see that line up with my personal belief, and it's based on the way that the scriptures are read and interpreted. And so churches can have literally become other denominations by small little doctrinal differences, like baptism, communion, like little stuff. And it's like, why y'all fighting over that and splitting churches because of that? But whatever, to each their own, right? Because someone like me, just falls under the non-denominational or interdenominational category, which is pretty much the same thing. We done split away from the from the rest of the folks because we don't think that folks should be held to this strong doctrinal, you have to believe this, because, and this is why, as a pastor, I don't believe that I should tell you what to believe when it comes to the secondary and the tertiary portions of the faith. I believe there are foundations of the faith that as a Christian we believe, right? So these are foundational things that are non-negotiables. Those are the things of the faith that make us Christian. Jesus, right? So you can't be Christian if you don't believe in Jesus. Like foundational stuff aside, I believe that there are these secondary and these tertiary belief systems that I don't feel that it's my place to tell you how to believe on those. That my job is to give you the information and the biblical basis for multiple threads of belief, and allow you then, because you have a mind, a logical mind, allow you to say, okay, no, this one makes sense. And if you ask me, well, what's your belief on it? How do you fall? What do you think? Then I'll tell you. But I'm not going to say that, excuse the outside. I don't know what they're doing out there. It sounds fun though. But I'm not going to say you have to believe it to come to this church. You have to believe it this way, because I don't think that's fair. And that takes away your rationale. It takes away logic from you. And if you see it a different way, and if you can support your view, and you're like, well, that don't really sound right, Pastor, because I see this, and this is how this makes sense to me. Who am I to then challenge you to the point where there's some type of split? So that's why our church is non-denominational. I'm missing so much. All right, South Africa, thank you so much for tuning in. Religions such as paganism or Wicca. I used to be Wiccan, and my thoughts on the religion, for me, it was a very dangerous thing. I was into I was very angry during that time of my life, and I got very dark and did some very mean things to people. And I let and it harmed none fly out the window when it came to me. And so I make it a point that I don't judge people. I don't judge what for the journey that people are on. But I just know for me that some stuff just wasn't, that you can't give me a candle and some herbs and tell me to say these words and this what's gonna happen. Because so especially in that time in my life, because I was very angry, very upset, and I needed I didn't need that type of influence in my life. Psychic abilities exploring in Christianity. Okay. Are they your own psychic abilities? I believe that God gives people ability to see. I believe God gives people the ability to hear and to know. The prophets of old, some might say, were psychic, from a certain perspective. Where I draw the line is when people say that they, are seeking the knowledge of someone who's said to be psychic or whatever, because I don't know where they're getting their information. This is me. I don't know who they're talking to. And so I don't feel comfortable going to people who I don't know where they're getting the information. I feel more comfortable if God has something to tell me, that he will tell me, or a trusted source that is in my life, right? And I'm just so blessed to have a wife who is prophetic, a trusted source such as my wife that is in my life to relay a message to me if I need to know it, versus me go outside of my trust circle to an end, because I believe in demons, I believe in an evil source, I believe in all of that. And so I don't, and I've seen too much to not believe in it. And so I don't trust everybody. And just like I don't eat out of everybody's kitchen, I don't eat potluck food and all of that. I don't allow everybody to pray over me. I don't allow everybody to speak over me. I don't listen to everybody's word that they say that they have for me, because I just don't trust it. I think I know God well enough that I know that if God has a message for me, I know the avenues that the Lord will most likely use and how he speaks to me. And I go with that. And that's just me. Yes, yes. Let me see. I'm missing some stuff. So if you have a question, if I have not addressed it, please put it in the little question box, because I don't want to miss anybody. But as people are coming in, and thank you so much, Jared's mom, for the rose. Thank you so much. And if I'm missing you all, I apologize. Okay, all right. Northern Cape, Providence. Yes, thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, thank you, Farm Boy. I love you too. Yes. Indeed, indeed. Yep. Why did God allow slavery? And oops, I'm sorry, 666. I just clicked on it. So I'm gonna answer the slavery question first, then I'm not skipping you. I'm gonna answer yours next. Why did God allow slavery? I don't believe that God allowed slavery. I believe that, just like I don't believe God allows a lot of bad things to happen. I believe that free will, which is our greatest gift, but is also our greatest curse, I believe, had everything to do with slavery. I also believe that those that engaged in slavery, especially the type of slavery that is in America, that they will serve punishment for that, what they did. But I don't believe it was God, who just, and I know he didn't orchestrate it, but I don't believe it was God that allowed it. And then the end times. End times. I have not wrapped my mind completely around the end times. And here's why. There are so many theories as to how all of this is going to turn out, that and I've studied all of these theories, that I don't want to call it confused, but I'm like, it could happen like this or it could happen like that. And so for me to lock down an actual, like, this is how it's going to happen, and watch out for this and watch out for that, I feel like it's jumping the gun, and I don't feel equipped to actually engage in that conversation, just because there's so many well thought out, well studied, views on eschatology. It's literally, what I do know is that in the end we win, that evil is destroyed. Like, that's how I feel. Like, in the end, evil is destroyed and it is no more. And those that are, from the sheeps and the goats, right? Those that have fed the hungry, loved on people, all of that good stuff, and those that were the goats, they gonna get cast out, and those that are the sheep will be, be with God. And so yeah, I don't do I don't really know about eschatology in that way. Yeah. Ooh, child, did anybody block you yet? Ain't nobody blocked you yet. I got you. I got you. Boom. All right. Got you. All right. Anyway. Doo doo doo. Advice. Let me see. Make sure I'm going in order here. I got a couple that came in at the same time. Advice on parents not being accepting. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I will say this: parents that are not accepting. Yep. Let me just answer this real quick. Yep, you sure can. There you go. Be patient with your parents, number one. That's number one. Because I don't know about you, but when I started, it took me 2 years to come out to myself and to really be comfortable with myself. In when I realized that I was attracted to the same sex, and so sometimes when we come out, it's beautiful. I love to see the TikToks where the child comes out to the parents and the parents are automatically like, like, yes, ma'am. Automatically like, oh, I love you so much. We love you. Nothing has changed. We are, you're our baby and we love you. I think that's beautiful, but that's not always the case. Sometimes the case is, I don't want to hear this. This isn't real. I don't accept it. I don't agree. And years later, they come around. So number one, be patient. Number two, there are places, especially if they're Christian and that's what's standing in their way, then I'm a part of an organization called the Reformation Project. If you look it up, actually there's a link in my link tree that says TRP Resources. That's the website. They do a program called, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am Earthing. but They do a program called Parents in Process. And I love this program because of the fact that parents that are Christian and are not affirming really don't have many places to go from a Christian perspective, right? So not a secular perspective, a Christian perspective, and not already affirming. And TRP offers that. Where sometimes they feel like they're going to be like placed in a position where they're going to be bashed, which happens, right? And so they'll go into a place and they're seeking help on how to love their kid better. And, and rightfully so, because the people that are running the organization get triggered and they're like, you need to love your kid and you're going to, do all of these horrible things. And they get attacked. And so a lot of parents steer away from something like that, as you might imagine, right? But TRP does it a little bit differently, where they meet them right where they are, wherever they are, right? And then they start to educate them. And they don't make them feel bad for wherever they are, but the goal is for them to become affirming. And if not completely affirming wherever they land, right? At least to get them to a place of acceptance and where they are loving their kids, and doing what they should as parents. So I would definitely recommend that as a program, perhaps, that may be of interest to you. Pentecostal churches. I love a good old Pentecostal church. I love a good old shout. I love a good old hand clap and praise. Yes. As far as some of the legalism, I don't agree with legalism at all. Period. Anywhere. But as far as the way that Pentecostals praise, oh, I'm down for it. I'm down for it. Eunuchs in the Bible. Eunuchs in the Bible, in my opinion, are what we would call, well, they were definitely the sexual minority of their day. So some may have, if we were to bring them to this century and introduce them to our modern terminology, some may identify as transgender. Some may identify as simply gay or bisexual. But in those days, in biblical times, they didn't have those terminologies, nor did they have those understandings. Eunuchs were people, some were made eunuchs. So let me differentiate here. Some were made eunuchs, so it was not their choice. Others, however, were born eunuchs. And so they were unable to be married based on the fact that they didn't either want to be married as far as have an attraction to the opposite sex, and some of them it was because they did not have the physical ability to perform, because marriage was for procreation, and so something was wrong. They couldn't perform. Some chose, and it was voluntary, that they would have their bottom surgery, I guess is the best way to say it, be castrated. And that was a choice for many. Some didn't need castration. Some just did not. And their main reason was their main job was to, or one of their main jobs was to take care of the king's concubines and wives. And so they would bathe the women. They would tend to them. And so if the king had a fully heterosexual grown man in there taking care of his wives, what you think about to happen, right? And so they would castrate those men so that nothing could happen. However, there were some men that didn't need castration. They could remain whole and do the job of bathing and taking care of a woman, but still be strong enough to protect her as well. And so, yeah, so those were pretty much summing it up, eunuchs in the Bible. How do you find peace with being with your partner? My partner is peaceful. I don't know how to answer that question. I guess reconciling my faith with my sexuality. Well, the Bible doesn't say that there's anything wrong with two women being together. My spirit is at peace. God has blessed me with someone who loves me, who is my soulmate. I would say we're so knit together like David and Jonathan, right? And she is she's a wonderful, wonderful person. So that's how I make peace with it. I am at peace, and so that's easy to do when you are at peace. And Ethan, I've talked about Noah's Ark earlier, and or in my sermon today. And so I'm going to actually, this live is going to be on my YouTube channel pretty much after we're done. So it'll be on my YouTube channel to catch up. I went through the sermon. Also, you can go to my Facebook page. You go to my link tree in my bio. Click on the church, find my church. You can see the sermon. Also, you can click on the YouTube and go and find this live. But I talked about Noah's Ark, and I talked about the fact that we can go into the ark we don't have to go into the ark at all, or we can go in one of two other ways, kicking and screaming like the animals probably were, or by our knowledge and knowing who God is and wanting to be safe. So yeah, I went through all of that in the sermon. Let me cycle through. I'm so sorry that they use your dead name. I am so sorry. People literally, they work out of their ignorance so often. It is my hope and prayer that one day, just like these parents that 30 years ago refused to go to their son or daughter's wedding when they married someone of a different race, who now are kicking themselves that they were not a part of that special time in their kid's life. It is my prayer that that's what's going to, pretty much, I believe that's what's going to happen. When parents are so mean, I mean, I don't understand it from a parent's perspective. I don't understand it. And I don't know that they know the implications of what they're doing. I don't know that they understand how devastating that is and how traumatizing that is. But perhaps if they could hear another mother's heart, and if you want to, like I said, this is going to be on my YouTube channel. And if you feel comfortable, play this for them. Just fast forward to this part, right? But I don't care if my daughters, one of them came to me and said, you remember Friends when Phoebe wanted to be called something Banana Hammock? Baby, I'll call you Banana Hammock. If that's what you want to be called, baby, I got you. Mama will try to remember that because you're my child. And if that's what you want to be called, and it has nothing to do with, at that point, gender or anything else, it's my respect for my child to refer to them however they want to be referred. That's really what it boils down to. It boils down to respect. And so if I can't wrap my mind around the gender thing, if I can't wrap my mind around that, I at least can respect my child enough to wrap my mind around what they would prefer to be called, their name, who they identify themselves with. And here's why. If you will recall in the scriptures, when Paul used to be named Saul, and Saul was a killer of Christians, Saul represented something that Paul no longer wanted to be associated with. And at the time when Saul was Saul, all of the people around Saul saw him as an awesome person. He was not liked. All of his people loved him. He had an encounter with the Lord and was renamed Paul. And from that point forward, chose a new name. And so, if my child tells me that something has happened in their life where the old them has passed away, a Christian should understand this, and a new them has been born, and the new name represents their new happiness. See, essentially, this is something that's going to make them happy. And it's going to rid them of depression, and it's going to kill thoughts of often, of unaliving themselves. If it's going to do all of that, then I'm going to call you whatever the new name is. Right? Out of respect and out of love. I hope that answered that question. They starting to pile up. I'm so sorry. I'm getting to them. Are LGBT women exempt from fornication intercourse? I don't believe so. I believe that all people still are, and it's not about purity culture. I know that's a big thing. I believe in the joining of our bodies as being sacred. And just like Paul says that, why would you join yourself with, like he's talking about prostitutes. Why would you join yourself with, like, you are the body of Christ. Why would you join yourself with someone who is not? I believe that there's something very sacred and very spiritual about intercourse. And so that is why I say be very guarded about who you align and connect with. And so that's why I say it from that perspective. And I don't think that anyone, is exempt from that. Yep. And well, women can penetrate. Yes, we can. But not in the same way. I see what you're saying, but we certainly can, as well. Yep. My question is too long to fit in the box. Ask in comments. Okay, Kelsey, are you able to do it in the, you asked it in the comments. Gotcha. Let me scroll back up and see if I can see it. If I don't see, wait. Okay, it's too long. Wait, I'm getting to it. Here we go. Have you ever read the Bible in a spiritual perspective I have not. I have never read that. But it sounds like a very good question. Very good book. Can you do me a favor, Kelsey? Am I following you? Let me do this. Let me find you again. So sorry. And now I am. Do me a favor. When this live is over, go to my inbox and place that comment. Not comment, but the book and an author. Can you place that in my message box and send me a message so that I know that book? Because I'm not sure. I'm so new to TikTok. I don't know how to go back and look at these comments. So it might be lost forever if you don't do that. So please, if you would put that in my thing, in my inbox. My mom and dad refused me. I'm so sorry that they refuse to honor you in that way. And I would say it's so hard. They're your parents. If it's not your name, then you don't have to answer to anything that you don't want to answer to. Is there a way that you can talk to them about the respect issue and come up with a compromise that works for everyone? How do you know when God is sending you a message? For me personally, God speaks to me pretty loud and clear. I've received messages through literally an audible voice. A lot of times it's through nature for me, and I will see something happen, or just through example. I relate to Jeremiah, the prophet in the Bible, a lot, because God will literally show me something and be like, you see that right there? Like in my spirit, I feel it, like, you see that right there, and will make me pay attention to it. And I'm like, yeah, it's like a hat. And he will go into like this big revelation on what it meant. Like, like, and it's like a download. It's like I get all of this information in one little drop. And I'm like, whoa, like, and I'll have this huge revelation. And that's how God speaks to me. Oh, thank you so much, Pray Away. Thank you so much. I love you too. Thank you. The film Pray Away, if you all have not seen it, go check it out. It's streaming on Netflix right now. Go find Pray Away on Netflix. Watch it. Guard your heart and prepare yourself. It is heavy, but it is worth the watch. Someone you may even want to watch it first, but then folks that are struggling with parents and all of that, you may even want to show it to your parents, or make sure that they see it as well. Thank you so much. I am her thing. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. Oh, I'm so sorry. The Bible says God won't speak to people now. I don't believe that. I don't believe that God has stopped speaking at all. I believe that God is very much still speaking to his people, and especially through, even through the Bible. I mean, so many various ways. Yep. And as I was telling someone else, I found peace with being me, just through the fact that I have peace. I've been given a peace that passes all understanding. How do you deal with regret and anxiety? Personally, um, personally, anxiety is one of those things that does happen to me. I struggle with anxiety, to be honest with you. And I deal with it by removing myself. I'm like Jesus, I guess, in that sense. I will remove myself. I'm an introvert anyway, and go somewhere and recharge myself. And sometimes I have to like tell myself, like, go watch a movie, like a happy movie or something. Like, go, like, don't watch Pray Away. Like, that ain't the movie to watch if you're feeling anxious or feeling some kind of way. But go watch a happy movie. Go watch a cartoon. Or go and play some music. Go and I have to like make myself do this, because these are the things that soothe me, and these are the things that put me back in the right place, so that I can continue on. And sometimes I even have to ask my wife, hey, can I get a day, can I just get a day where I don't have to like do anything? So we have a 4-year-old, and so it's very hard, going mommies don't get a break. Literally, like that commercial where the mom was sick and it was like, you get a sick day. Well, guess what? You don't get a sick day from mommy. So for being mommy. And so sometimes I have to ask my wife, hey, will you just let me be for just a little bit so I can recenter myself? And I think it's very important to make sure that we're guarding our peace at all costs. How do we deal with anxiety about this, about our sexuality? Watch and guard what you are taking in. I could say that, watch and guard. Like, TikTok is very, very good, but it can be very, very toxic. There's so much. You can flip just through your For You and receive so many different messages. And what is going into your ears and through your eyes it's got to settle somewhere. It settles in your mind and ultimately in your heart. And so if you, and especially in the comment sections, because sometimes you can see, like even on my videos, you can see great content where it's like, oh wow, yeah, that's great, like this is feeding my soul. But go to the comment sections and see so many negative people that it just wipes away everything that you just saw. So I would be very careful, especially when, if you feel like you're getting into a place of anxiety, to just stay away from comment sections, stay away from, even if you don't even like, if a face pops up on your For You that you don't recognize and is not like, may or may not be LGBT friendly or whatever, scroll away from it. Don't risk somebody planting a negative seed if you're already in a vulnerable state. Go somewhere where you know is safe. If you're going to be on the internet, and be safe. Watch what's going in, and make sure that when negative things go in, that immediately, the Bible says, take all thoughts captive to Christ. And literally, when a negative thought goes in, don't let it sit, don't let it become a seed to plant. Reject it immediately. This is not real. This is not, like, combat it and spew it. Don't let it fester and simmer, because it will plant, and then anything can grow from it. Any thoughts on deprogramming toxic theology? I like that terminology. A lot of people use the term deconstruct, and I'm not sure that I like that terminology, but deprogram, I love that terminology, because really that's what I feel that we have seen. We are in the midst of programming. And everything that we have heard, every sermon, all of that programs us in a certain way. And to really get the real, we have to deprogram a lot of stuff and then reprogram with the right stuff. And I like that, because if you take a computer and you deprogram it, it is a useless vessel if it has no programming on it. And that's why I like it, because deconstruction to me feels a whole lot like destruction, where we just destroy it and then there's nothing there, and it's like, but reprogramming, and this is for me, they having fun out there. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but reprogram for me, that sounds a whole lot better for me, where I'm like, yeah, I like that. And for me, it was finding, first of all, literally telling myself, Deuteronomy 29:29 is literally my favorite Bible verse. And I can't quote it verbatim for you right now, but it says it like, I will paraphrase. It says, for the secret things belong to God. I guess maybe I can quote it. For the secret things belong to God, but the things revealed to you are for you and your children. And so, or something like that. I think that last part might have been paraphrased. Any case, which says to me that there are some things that I will never know, that they belong to God and God alone. But then there are other things that God has revealed to me, and I'm supposed to pass those down to my children, and they should have been passed down to me properly. But in that, who's to say that I was not passed down wrong information, wrong programming? And so for me, I look at it like this. Let me wipe the slate completely clean. Let me deprogram everything. And every preconceived notion that I'm coming into this with, let me erase it. And what does it look like now, right? What does it look like to literally have no information and then just to read the words in the Bible, or just to receive this new information, whatever it is? Like, what does it look like now? Because I oftentimes find that when I eliminate any preconceived notion, even on the smallest things, I tell you, creation, when I learned about creation, and I hold a certain theory now about creation that I didn't have before. Creation used to puzzle me so bad, where I was like, almost like literally willing to throw away the whole faith because of creation. Be honest with you. How did God create the whole earth in 6 days and rest on one? Like, how did that? And is it a literal 6 days? Like, that used to puzzle me. I'm like, that don't make sense. Ain't no way. How is it that carbon copies, or they do carbon testing on the earth, and the earth is billions of years old? Y'all lying. Like, so that was where, and so, but I was programmed, coming from a Baptist background, to believe in a literal 6-day creation. And it just didn't make no sense. So when I learned the gap theory. And this is the theory that I hold now, which means basically the gap theory is that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And then it says now, between verse 1 and 2, it says now the earth was formless and void, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the deep. That there's a gap between those two verses. That literally God created the heavens and earth billions and billions and billions and billions of years ago, and it was perfect and everything was great. And all sorts of stuff happened. Doesn't say it in the Bible, it doesn't need to. But then the earth became formless and void because something traumatic happened to destroy it. Whether you want to believe that's, some type of meteor hit, because then there are the thoughts about what happened to the dinosaurs. People say that a meteor hit the earth, and, so something happened to devastate the earth because then it became formless and void. God did not create the earth formless and void. He did not create the earth in chaos. He created it perfect. So it made sense to me. And that opened up this whole realm of what else have I programmed myself to believe that simply makes no sense, but I didn't have the information to make it make sense. Because then it made sense to me. I was like, that's how the earth can be billions of years old. That's how there can be dinosaurs, but there's no mention of those jokers in the Bible anywhere, because if we start in the beginning of creation and there's no mention of dinosaurs, throw the whole religion away, throw the whole Bible away. Like that's how I used to feel about it. Like, this ain't real. But the gap theory solved that for me, where I'm like, okay, there's billions of years that are not accounted for here. And that's okay, because the secret things belong to God, right? But the things that God has revealed to me belong to me and for my children. I'm cool. And so that's literally where I fell. So hopefully that helps you and it makes sense to you. Will you mentor me? Oh, Kelsey, somebody else. Do me a favor. Go, I just now followed you. I just followed you. Let's talk about it. Inbox me. Any advice for ex-Jehovah's Witness? I dated a girl who was a Jehovah's Witness, and to be honest with you, my two oldest daughters lived in a house. I don't know that they ever truly were Jehovah's Witnesses, but they were certainly raised in a household where they were Jehovah's Witnesses. I tell you, they some of the smartest kids when it comes to that scripture, though. They know that word. But I know the legalism that's involved with Jehovah's Witness. Somebody else said, I respect them for doing their thing, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Forced to learn about their beliefs. They know that word. They know that Bible. And I know, and like I said, I dated someone who was Jehovah's Witness, and she knew the Bible as well, because they are literally forced. I think it's traumatic. And like someone said, I respect it. I respect not the traumatic part. I respect them for believing in their faith to the point where they want to learn it and are dedicated to learning it and dedicated to sharing it. The methodology of the sharing is what I'm not really cool with. The fact that if someone is not a Jehovah's Witness alongside you, you have to excommunicate from those people. Like, I see them splitting up families where parents are not allowed to talk to kids that are LGBT or who have decided not to, who have decided to go a different faith tradition or whatever. And I don't think that is right at all. So I think, again, it goes back to programming and deprogramming. It goes back to, what if I was never taught anything? What from the Bible, what does this say to me now, right? Without all the other stuff, what does it say to me now? And how do I make sense of it? And believe me, it's out there. The information is out there. Do you think the world is flat based on the Bible? I can see where people get a flat earth theory, but again, the Bible was not written to be, it's not a science book, so it wasn't written to give us these scientific explanations of the way the earth is or even formed. And so, yeah, I see where people get it from, but I certainly am not a flat earther. I know that the world is round based on, it talks about it spinning on its axis as well. But yeah, I know the world is round based on, a couple of things. If I were to take a plane, I live on the east coast of of the United States of America, if I were to take a plane and fly east and head to, you know, Japan, right, and land in Japan, and then get on the plane and fly east again, I would end up in California. That's around, you know, there's no way around that. And then, of course, I've driven east from California to Georgia, you know, so that's round. And so, and or opposite way, right? So the Bible's not a science book, and so when we treat it like a science book, we're gonna be really upset because there's a whole bunch of stuff that don't line up with science from the Bible. But these are a lot of times prophetic or even poetic words that someone was writing on the page. It wasn't meant for us to, you know, to use it as a guide in that way. So yeah. Let me see. Eve's temptation, blasphemy. Am I missing what? I'm sorry. Was it something I said? Just expound on that. Eve's temptation, blasphemy. Yeah, being shunned for being gay. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm telling you that when people, any religion, I don't care what it is, when any religion causes you to reject family or to keep family away from family, that's a problem for me. That's a problem. We're not called to separate ourselves in that manner. You know, we are called to be set apart. And I think people take this so, they take it so literally. Like, we're called to be set apart, but that's different than separated. Like, set apart means that we have a different standard of existence. Like, we have a, like we don't engage in every single little thing, but it has nothing to do with being in. The Bible says also we are in the world, but not of the world. You can't remove yourself from the world. How are you any good if you remove yourself from the world? Like, that makes no sense. Yeah, attributing it to the serpent rather than God. Gotcha. And are you saying that, because I believe that that it was the serpent. I believe that, you know, like, I believe the story that it happened. Now, I don't believe it was fruit. I don't believe that it was like, so there's some beliefs around that. But I don't believe, and it certainly was no apple that she partook in. But in any case, you know, I believe she was tempted by the entity that had been cast out of heaven to the earth. And, you know, yeah, and I believe it was him. I don't know that it was God who, you know, now God created the tree, but I don't even think that that's a bad thing. Like, who's to say that God did not intend? Like, here's the thing. I have a 4-year-old, like I keep saying, right? And if I make a cake today and I have an intention that that cake is for Wednesday, but I make it today because I'm getting, you know, it's part of what I'm doing, right? So but it's for Wednesday. It's not for Sunday. And I make this cake, I put it on the counter, and it's good to go. And I tell my daughter, don't you touch that cake. That's for Wednesday. Like, you know, don't touch it. It's mine. It's not for you. And I come back downstairs and there's icing all over her face, and my cake, you know, is a piece of my cake is gone. I'm gonna have a problem with that. And there's gonna be some punishment behind the fact that I told you not to touch the cake. Who's to say that God wasn't gonna give them a piece of cake later on? You know, give them a bite of the apple later. They jumped the gun. So I don't think that it was even I think the sin wasn't the fact that, you know, that they weren't supposed to eat that fruit. They weren't supposed to eat it then, and they weren't supposed to eat it without permission. I'm of the mindset that possibly God was like, I'm going to give you the fruit, but just like not right now. Why? Because there's a second tree that's called the tree of life, right? And this is where I'm getting it from, right? So there's a second tree called the tree of life. And we know that we all get to partake in the tree of life later on. So I think that we were going to partake in the tree of knowledge of good and evil as well, but under God's direction and under God's authority, not on our own trying to be cute, you know, and especially not. And I think that sneaky little entity was the one that was like, you know, come on, do it. It would be like, the older sister trying to get the little one in trouble. Go on, take a piece of that cake. Mama don't care, and like, I think that's what happened. Any case, what have you overcome to be able to love this way? Oh my goodness. Woo wee, child. My goodness, that's a loaded question. What have I overcome? Oh, thank you so much for the heart. I have overcome molestation. I have overcome hatred in my heart to the extent of wanting to kill. I have overcome, definitely ego. Oh yes, I've overcome. Ego was a big one for me. Let me tell y'all the story of ego. Woo-wee. Okay, so wait. Let me make sure I'm not messing up. I'm gonna tell you the story of the ego. What are the thoughts on the Noah's Ark theory? I actually preached on Noah's Ark today, and my theory is that Noah's Ark was it was more. It wasn't worldwide. I believe it was more local than what we are taught. That's in a nutshell. But an alternative entity didn't tempt her with CA. What's CA? Oh my goodness. What's CA? I'm trying to figure that out. Just tell me what CA. Will there be line of women waiting for Eve? I'm gonna be right there. I know I would like to have a word or two with Eve when we get there. Okay. So here's humility, right? So here's how I believe that the Lord was speaking to me about being humble. So when I first came back to Christ, back to Christianity, I was in the Marine Corps. And I was cute. Boy, I was cute back in the day. And thank you so much, Sean. You right on time to hear the story of my humility. So, child was cute. And I didn't wear, since the time I was 16 years old, when they told me I could wear makeup. My mom gave me the go ahead. I didn't wear anything but MAC makeup. Child, even to this day, to be honest with you, I don't really put nothing else on my face. Any case, but I was bad with it. Like, I wouldn't touch nothing else. Child, don't take me to no grocery store. Hello, Levon, and try to get me off nothing off the shelf. That ain't gonna work. Any case, I mean, just bad with it. And I thought I was super cute. And I mean, to the point where I think it was like the weekend before, I had pulled up into a parking garage or something like that. And like, I even told like my girlfriend in the car with me, I'm like, watch this. And like, I had this theory, like, I get what I want, right? So I'm cute. So I think we got like parking for free, and like, so I'm showing off, right? So that very next Monday, or maybe been Tuesday, I know it was beginning of the week, because God dealt with me on that Wednesday during the Bible study. Any case, my truck got broken into. Now, I'm from the East Coast. I'm from a little town. And so we didn't really get our stuff broken into. If you left your doors open, then somebody would come and like take your stuff. But if your doors were locked, you were pretty much safe. And so like, my doors were locked and all of that kind of stuff. Somebody broke my window of my truck. And I had a little case of makeup that probably had about $600 worth of makeup in it, that they stole every drop of makeup that I had. I'm talking everything. It was all in my truck, and they stole it. And I got up the next day and I kept it in my truck because of the fact that, like I said, I'm a Marine, right? So I would have to like go run, all that kind of stuff. And I didn't come home. I would shower at work and then, get dressed up and get all cute again. And, and that's so my makeup was always in my truck. Them jokers stole my makeup. Like, you nasty to still make, like I was so mad about it. I'm just like, I wouldn't want nobody else's old used makeup. Any case, stole every ounce. I didn't even have eyeliner. And I was mad. But again, I'm a Marine at the time and I'm poor. So I couldn't even afford to go back and like buy, cause if I had money, I could have like gone and just forget them, and at least got me a little something, little eyeliner or something. But I was poor, so I didn't have any money. I didn't have money to buy even an eyeliner stick, because again, I'm hardy. I wasn't gonna buy the stuff off the shelf. My eyeliner cost $20. So I was like, like, oh, I was devastated. I went to church and I was all upset, mad because somebody had violated my truck and stole my stuff, mad because my makeup was gone, mad because I'm plain face and I'm feeling like I'm not cute no more. Like mad, mad, mad. And the Lord dealt with me right there in those pews. It was like, you're not gonna get no more makeup until I say it's all right. And like dealt with me like you using your face like it's like it's this awesome thing. I gave you that face and it's nothing. Like dealt with me, right? And taught me humility in that moment. Like, you got to get your life together. Get over yourself. Because what you are on the outside don't match on the inside, because you're not cute. And like, I was convicted. I was like, yeah, the attitude I had was not cute. Yeah, I had to get over that. I had to get over and then because I looked at other people and judged other people as well based on the outside. I had to get over it. And the Lord taught me that lesson. I mean, I'm blessed now that, not as poor as I used to be, I got over it, But yeah, I did. I had to get over that. Definitely. Yeah. What does the Bible say about eating meat? When Noah reached land, God gave him permission to eat meat. And I believe that, you know, meat is good, for consumption. Personally, I don't really like a lot of meat. I eat a little chicken, a little fish maybe. But then I get grossed out by meat sometimes, and I'll go like years without eating it. So yeah. And yeah, and people, yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, I had to learn to appreciate beauty for what beauty is, and not based on like makeup or any of that. And these standards of beauty that we have imposed, especially back then, because I'm talking like 20 years ago. We're kind of getting out of that now, which I think is a wonderful thing. But I had imposed those standards of beauty on other people. And it's like, no, look at those eyebrows, no, look at that. And it's like judging people left and right for no reason. Like, it was hard. I was bad. I was really bad. I'm like ashamed. It's funny now, but I'm also like ashamed of like the way. Is it appropriate to be used to disappointment? I think we all have to kind of get to a point where, like, life can be disappointing. And I think that's why the scripture says to be content in all situations. Like, when you like reading the New Testament, when Paul is like, I have learned to be content with much and with little. Like, I've learned to be content in literally all situations. Excuse me. Because if we are not content, then we will be more disappointed. I find my disappointment now more so in people, that I had high expectations or that I put trust in, that disappointed me behind it. As far as like circumstances of life, it's very hard to disappoint me in that sense, or for me to become disappointed in that sense, because I've learned to literally, like the scripture said, to be content, and be happy no matter what's going on. Like, to be content with it, and trust God. Beauty based on our understanding basically contradicts God, making it exactly. It sure does. Yep. Can I get an invitation? Absolutely. If you go to my link tree, which is in my bio, my link tree it's kind of near the bottom. It says, go to my church, or like visit my church. Click that link. It takes you to the Facebook page, and our church is, all our lives. We're still virtual. And I'm kind of glad that we are, and we didn't actually go back in service because now numbers are rising again. But we've been virtual for about a year and a half now, if not coming up, about a year and a half now. So definitely you are invited, and you will be loved on. And hopefully I will see you there. We stream on Wednesdays for Bible study at 6:30, and then and this is Eastern time, and then on Sundays at 10 a.m. for Sunday worship service. Yeah. Yeah, some people think because you're in the military that you have money, and that is not the case. It isn't. Like we get free stuff sometimes, but especially because I'm talking early in my little career too. I wasn't even like I think it was a Lance Corporal still. And so I was not, which is like an was it E2, E3? And I was not making money. And then on top of it, I had a girlfriend at the time that took every dime I did make and like spent it. Like I made some horrible decisions back then. And so like it was horrible. She was not a good person. And so she was spending any little money that I did have. And so man, I just remember that feeling. Okay, Navy, you guys took care of us in the Marine Corps. So I love the Navy. All the corpsmen and our chaplain, everybody was Navy. Yeah. How can I become a full member of your church? Well, we have when we do our services and all that good stuff, you can say that you want to be a member. I would encourage you to come to some of our services first, right? Check us out. I don't want you to make any decisions hastily. And here's why. Our church operates a little bit different than ordinary church on purpose. Because I truly believe that according to scripture, I, as the pastor, I'm called to be the equiper of the saints, which means that I'm supposed to give knowledge and give wisdom and give myself and my time to equipping the saints for the work of ministry. And so we believe that Christians are to be ministers, which means that they are to minister the gospel to people, offer prayer, do all sorts of stuff, what people normally say is the pastor's job. Not that I'm exempt from doing those things too, believe me. But I have an extra duty, which is to equip those to be prepared to go out into the world and to spread love and to spread the gospel and to be loving and kind and do so in an educated manner and all that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of how we work. So we have what's called spiritual growth coaches that team up with new members to kind of like be with them and kind of like offer them some mentorship so that they know, like, if they have a question, what kind of Bible should I read, that sort of stuff, they can help them out. So that's kind of how we do church. We don't do it like the ordinary way where a lot of churches pretty much just want you to come. Just come and listen to the sermon, and that's considered like membership. But we're a little bit different in the sense that everybody can come and listen, but the members, we want our membership to actually be involved, like, and working. And everybody's not going to be a spiritual growth coach. Everybody's not going to work in the same capacity, and everybody's not going to do the same exact thing. And that's part of it. Every person is an individual. So we want to know what your individual purpose is. What is God calling you to do? How can we support you? How can we give you, information and how can we help that purpose come to fruition? Versus a lot of churches, they don't even think about asking the membership, what's your purpose? Because they don't want you to have a purpose. And just be honest, right? They don't want you to have a purpose. They want your purpose to play the organ. They want your purpose to do the door or whatever. But we truly believe that every person has a purpose from God. And the door is fine. Like ushering is fine. If that's your purpose. That was my grandmother's purpose, one of her main ones. And I honor that. And so I'm not downplaying it. But sometimes people will pigeonhole people into ministries and keep them there because they don't want they want their ministry to grow. They don't want the ministry of the person to grow. And so our job is to help the ministry of the person to grow. In doing that, we understand that our entire ministry, and not just agape, grows, but the kingdom grows for Christ. Yep. And exactly, Levon, that's the whole point, that people don't want to train folks. That's the main. They don't want to train. They don't want to educate, because and that's what I did a video on, the blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, just yesterday. I think it was yesterday. And people will keep that information from folks or make it into something that is not Because if I can keep you ignorant on what blasphemy of the Holy Spirit is, because that's the unforgivable sin. Most people know that much, like it's an unforgivable sin. If I can keep you ignorant of what that is, I can tell you it's anything. So you question me as your pastor, blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, I can catch you on that. If you all of a sudden you say, well, I don't really believe that Jesus Christ existed, blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, I'm gonna catch you on that. Like, so you don't even get an opportunity to question anything. They gonna blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. That's not what that is. And so if we trained people properly, they would know, right? So I can't scare you into submission, right? And so that is a scare tactic. So they don't want to, nope, they don't want to train nobody. They don't want you to really know the information, because if you really know the information, then how am I going to scare you into submitting to me? That's how, it's like, and thank you so much, Rabbi. Thank you so much. God bless you. Like, how can I scare you into submitting to me if I give you the information? I'm gay and I just want to feel love and find it all. Well, feel the love right here. God bless you, Steffi. God bless you. There's plenty of love right here. And I know that all of us want love, a partner, someone to share our lives with. And I'm praying that for you. As God said, it is not good that man should be alone, women included, that we should be alone, that we are created for community. And that's really the purpose. We are created for community. We thrive in community. And so I'm praying that for you. In the meantime, let us love on you. Let me love on you. Let me speak a word of encouragement into you. Because truly, it's so often that we as LGBT people, we don't get encouraged enough. And especially enough to combat the negativity that's in this world. See, sometimes, we need folks to understand that they say the squeaky wheel gets the oil. And that's important because the squeaky wheel needs the oil. And there's nothing wrong. See, that's the state that you're in. And as the LGBT community, we are not only the squeaky wheel, we are the damaged wheel. We are the injured wheel. We are the misused wheel. We are the wheel that keeps being kicked. We are the wheel that continues to get a rock stuck in it. That's us. So it's not even just about us being squeaky. We're whining. Because if people say that in a very negative connotation, we're injured. We're hurt. And so, yeah, we need some oil. We need some attention. We need some love. And that's what I am trying to provide on these Safe Space Sundays. It's just a place for all of us little squeaky wheels, right? To be able to squeak in peace without somebody saying, why are you squeaking? Right? Be able to receive a little oil to make it to the next day without somebody saying, you need oil again. Like without somebody like having an issue, like, yeah, I need oil. You've damaged me. Do you see the state that I'm in? Yeah, I do. Right? So yeah, that's what this hopefully is for you. What is your opinion on the purpose of life? Ooh-wee. I believe our purpose was to be in communion with God to begin with. That, like, God created human beings like we are supposed to be in like communion, like we're his creation. I believe God loves us, and I believe our purpose to one another is also to love one another. I think the purpose of life is love, literally. I think we've gotten away from the actual purpose, and we've divided ourselves on all of these little things. Your skin color, your hair texture, the way you talk, the way you're short, you're fat, you're this, you're that. And it's like, where's the love in any of this? Where's the love? Like, what? I think we are here to learn love, for real love, period. And we miss it if we miss it. What does the verse used against us really mean? There's a few that we call the clobber passages. that have been used against the LGBTQ community most prevalently. Someone placed it in my inbox. Just a matter of fact, today, this morning when I woke up, I had a list of verses. But basically, without getting into each one individually, just for the sake of time, but most of them have to do with exploitation. Most of them, or some of them, have to do with even forced sexual relationships, such as in Sodom and Gomorrah. Some of them have to do with prostitution, and exploitative sex. Some of them have to do with worship and idolatry, especially in Romans, when there was a Roman goddess that they would actually, the priest of the Roman goddess would stand in intercession as the actual goddess and present themselves as sexual objects to men and women. There was no love involved. There was no attraction involved. It was literally just lust, and it was based on sex magic, basically. And they considered it's idolatry. Considered it honoring this particular goddess. And so yeah, but safe to say, none of the verses, all 6 of them, sometimes they'll say 7, have to do with actual what we know as homosexuality. 2 committed social equals that want to build a life together, who are in love, or attracted to one another, that has nothing to do with attraction. In fact, marriage in the Bible has nothing to do with attraction most of the time, if you really think about it. So yeah. To see the Creator in all creation instead of we focus on differences. Yep. Been waiting for the second coming. Yep. Daughter wants to come with her family, but I forbade her daughter to protect her. You know, it depends on your daughter's age. As a mother, I'm right there with you. As a mother, I feel you. I would have a very candid and open conversation with her, and and talk about why and what. You don't want it to translate to her as you are you're ashamed of her. Make sure it's not translating like that to her. Make sure that it's not translating to her that the reason that you told her not to come out has anything to do with you. Because then that can feel very damaging, like she's not good enough for you. So I would have a very, very intimate conversation to explain how you're feeling and the angst that you have regarding her coming out, and not from the position of, but as a mother, like, it is our first instinct. It's thundering and raining here. Is our first instinct to protect our children. I did not understand this until I became a mother, but it is our first instinct to protect our children. And I mean, we don't want our children to be put in harm's way, and so we will tell our children to stay behind us. We want to shelter them. That is our first instinct. However, make sure that you're also not being a Peter to her, because when Jesus was telling Peter he had to go to the cross, and he knew what was going to happen, he knew, right? And Peter said, "No, Lord, that can't happen to you." Jesus said, "Get thee behind me, Satan," because Peter was about to stand in the way of Jesus's purpose. And so I would have this very candid conversation with her, if I was you, to really just make sure she understands. You know what you're about to do when you come out to family. Here could be the repercussions, right? This is how I'm afraid they're going to hurt you. This is what you may deal with. And I don't want you to go through that as your mother. I want to shield you. But if this is what you're prepared for, I'm going to stand beside you, and I can help you. I will help you and do as much as I can to make sure, right? And just be prepared. Y'all come up with a plan together for her coming out to the family, to keep her safe, and also for you know, because I don't want mama. I love to see you on here. And, you know, I don't know if you anything like me, you know, and somebody hurt my baby. See, it won't be cute. And, you know, it might catch a case, and I don't want that to happen to you. So, you know, so in all seriousness, though, you know, I want you to, y'all go into this together. You and your daughter are a team on this. I know you well enough. And I see you on my videos and stuff. Y'all are a team on this, and make sure she knows that. And y'all go into this together. If you need to set aside some of that mama, you know, and some of that mothering, then I'm praying for you. I know how that feels. I know how that feels. I'm a mother. I know how that feels to watch them do something that feels a little unsafe for you. But it's also not about you. But you prepare her and you stand beside her. And it'd be about y'all. Hopefully that answered your question. Why do parents use that verse, a disobedient child? You know what? Right. Because they also should pair that with the fact that they should not tempt their children to wrath either, because the parents have a responsibility to the children, and the children have responsibility to the parents. And so it's a relationship of reciprocity, and parents often forget that. I had to remind my own mother one day. She said something along the lines of, "You're supposed to honor your mother and father." And what honoring your mother and father really entails is not just obeying them. It doesn't say obey your mother and father; it says honor them. And so to honor your parents in those days was not just to do what you were told by them. It was to bring honor to the family, bring honor to the name. And so if you were doing back in those days, sometimes bring honor to the family may have dishonored the parent, if the parent themselves was not honorable. So I had to remind her that, are you honoring your parents? And would my behavior honor them, or would it honor you? Right? So yeah. So I'm sorry, I don't know you. Yep. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad. Thank you so much. And can me and mother do a skit with those 7 verses? We need to get into them. We've done some. We've done a little bit on Corinthians, we've done a lot on Romans, actually. If you go, I have a whole 4 or 5 videos on Romans. I'm making my way through some of them. I don't know that I might have done Sodom and Gomorrah. I might not have. I know I've done Timothy. I think I did do Sodom and Gomorrah. Maybe. I don't know. So I'm going to go back through. But what I intend on doing anyway, because, you know, as I'm growing popularity on TikTok, my older stuff, first of all, it wasn't done all that well anyway, because of the fact that I was new. I didn't know what I was doing. And so some of my older content, not the videos, I'm not going to erase any of the videos. I'm going to let them stay. But I plan on doing them a little different with the same type of content. So it might be things that you've heard before, but done in a different way. Now that I kind of like, I'm getting my bearings with this TikTok thing. So I plan on kind of revisiting a lot of the subject matter from the older videos. So yeah. Yes, you did. I did Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay. Yep. Do you think Wesley follows Jesus? Child, that little girl, she I pray that one day she really understands her faith. I'll put it like that. I think that it's great for her to be so young and to be so passionate about something. However, I see gaps in her understanding of certain things. And at this point, it looks and feels almost like she's doing, this is what I don't like. I don't like for people to dismiss a whole thing simply because of the vessel that has presented it. Because at that point, you may miss something important. I would never dismiss everything any one person says just because it came out of their mouth, and try and oppose it just because they said it. Because sometimes folks are right. And so I believe in chewing the meat and spitting the bones. And I see that she has an inability to do that. That she literally spits it all simply because of the vessel that carried the information. And that's problematic for me. So yeah, that's my thoughts on her. Hopefully she grows out of that. And here's the thing, your sexuality, they think it has dishonored them, but that would be like, there was a and this happens all the time, and if and perhaps you can relate to this. In my family, we have something called colorism, colorism issue, where there are certain, because we come from all shades, right, from the darkest to the dark to the lightest of the light, almost white, and that could pass. And so we are all in the midst of that. And there's colorism, or at least it used to be, pretty bad colorism issue in our family, where our darker cousins and folks were looked down on in a certain way than our lighter cousins and folks. And so there was this big, this divide between us as family, blood family, right? And that would be like, and this actually happened. And I'm careful with it, because I say I'm gonna put this on live. I'm put this on my YouTube, and I pray that none of my cousins, because this is sensitive. There was a child born to one of my cousins a long time ago. It's not recent. Who came out darker than her siblings, and because of her complexion, dishonor. She was seen as a dishonorable child, to the point that they did some horrible stuff to her. Her complexion was none. She couldn't help it. There's nothing she could have done about it. She was a child too. She was like a baby, like 5, 6 years old. There's nothing she could have done about it. It was just who she was. But yet it still brought dishonor. According to her parents, from her parents' perspective, dishonor to their family, because she was darker than everybody else. Your sexuality is something that you cannot change. You can't change that. Just no more than my little cousin. She wasn't my little cousin. She's older than me. My cousin could have changed the color of her skin. You can't change that. And so we have to stop putting honor and dishonor and tagging honor and dishonor based on things that folks can't change. I can't dishonor you with my sexuality, because that's something I can't change. Now, there's other things that I could dishonor you with, like actions. My actions can dishonor, right? The way I present myself can dishonor, right? If I'm presenting myself and I'm hurting people and I'm cussing folk out and that can be dishonoring. But who I am, literally something that I can't change, that's not dishonoring you. You feel some kind of way about it, but that's not dishonoring you. Don't own that. That's all I can say about it. Don't own that. That's not yours. You're not dishonoring them. They feel some kind of way about it, but you're not dishonored. Don't own that. Don't carry that burden. That's on them. Yep. And it did. And I'm talking, and just so that I make sure that I clean that up. I'm not talking nowadays. This is not because some folk will be slick and they know me for real, and they'll be like, internet searching or whatever and trying to figure out who I'm talking about and accusing some of my cousins of doing some devious stuff. I'm not talking about nowadays. It happened a long time ago. I'm talking like my aunt's generation, my mom's generation. I'm talking in the 40s and the 50s, when it was a real big issue. I see some of those things still kind of happen in our family a little bit, but not as much as it was way back then. Colorism was bad in my family, and in a lot of families. Yeah, it's sad to say I'm the first gay male, first open gay male. I'm gonna correct you. I don't know your family, but let me correct you. First open gay male in your family. There was some gay males in your family before you, and there's some gay males in your family right now that ain't saying they're gay, and maybe they're not all the way they bisexual, or they in relationships with women now. But I promise you, sure as I'm sitting here, unless your family only consists of 10 people, or something like that. Because statistically, right? Statistically, gay people make up about 8% of the population, right? So that means in any given family, where you have 10, 11 people, one of those people are going to be gay. So statistically, yeah, there's more than just you. You're not alone. You're the first brave person. I want you to reframe that. I want you to reframe that. You are, and not even sad to say, proud to say, I am the first brave gay male in my family. I want you to reframe that, because everything about that is what they've placed on you. But I want you to be liberated today. Proud to say, I am the first openly gay male, brave enough to come out in my family. That feels better, doesn't it? I want you to say that out loud. Write it down. Proud to say that I am the first openly gay male, brave enough to come out in my family. My son is mixed and I'm white. My extended family had a problem with him being mixed. Yep. And it happens. I thought I was the only one too. My sister's probably. Let me tell y'all this, and then I do need to go probably. Let me see. I love y'all so much, I'll be losing track of time. Let me tell y'all this, and this is what I'm about to drive this home for you in just a second, Lavon, but let me tell you this, and this is going to drive it home. I went to school, Elizabeth City, North Carolina, Elizabeth City State University, and there was a set of twins, a girl and a boy, that went to school. They were a little bit older than me, I believe, a set of twins, and they were in school with me. And they were twins. And the boy, was gay. Reason I knew he was gay is because, gay people, we know each other on campus, right? Because we all used to travel about an hour up north to Virginia Beach, and we go to the gay clubs and stuff like that, and we would end up seeing each other because it wasn't but like one or two gay clubs that everybody went to in Virginia Beach. And so we go and we see, oh, is that so-and-so? Okay. And he happened to sing in the choir with me too. We'd be like, oh, okay, I see you. Okay. Like you would know by the end of about a 2-month period, you would know pretty much who is family, what we used to call it, family on campus. And so, but he wasn't open or whatever. But, I knew him, he knew me and the other gay people. His sister was in English class with me. And our professor was bisexual, and he was proud, open bisexual man. And he was like, I want y'all to read Elin Harris's, I think it was like Invisible Life or something like that. It was like one of the books that he gave to us as a reading assignment. And we had to get up to report on it. Or, as a matter of fact, I take it back. He gave us a list of books to which to read from. Elin Harris's Invisible Life was on that list. And so I think I read Invisible Life, and I know she read Invisible Life, maybe a couple other people. We had to stand up and talk about the book that we read. She stood up, and I remember this because I was chuckling to myself. She stood up and she said, well, I decided to read Elin Harris' Invisible Life because personally, I don't know any gay people. Like, if I could just be a fly on the wall to see my face when she said that, because I know my face told it all. I was like I'm looking around to see if is there anybody in class that I can look at and we can like chuckle about this, but nobody blinked an eye because no one knew. Like literally, I'm the only person that heard her say, I don't know any gay people personally. And so I wanted to read the story because I wanted to get to know. And I'm thinking in my mind, your brother, your twin, not even just like your brother, your twin brother is gay. And you say you don't know any gay people? Child, you in for it. So that's just hitting it home that a lot of people have gay people in their families and have no clue. None. I'm pretty sure now she knows, but oh man, that thing made me laugh when it happened. I'm a twin, I have to tell you the story, and I really just like, oh, yeah. But just know, there's more than just you. Yep. I have 25 more minutes. Cool. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I feel like y'all are family. I'm gonna show y'all. Hopefully it shows up. Y'all y'all see this? Oh no, the thing. Okay, so digital watches versus watches with hands. I don't know why I put a watch with hands on my watch, right? You can see it. Because I can't tell time on them. Not worth, and especially if it ain't got no numbers. If it doesn't have numbers, I look at it takes me a while to like, I'll have to like, like look at it hard and figure out where would the 3 be. And then that looks like it's probably on the 4. Like, and I don't know why I put it on there because it's cute and it matches. But as far as like telling real time, this ain't no good. I don't know what time it is right now because I can't tell time on the very watch that I have on my wrist. Just thought I'd share. And I should put the little digital watch that shows the numbers, but they didn't have any that matched the color of my watch. And so now, so I don't know what time it is. I do have a digital watch over there. Okay, I see the time now. It is 15:41. 3:41. Cool. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me and the way that I am. Yes, look at my wife. She's like, Lord, I can't tell time on no regular clock. I get so confused. I can't do it. If it has numbers, I'm a little bit better because I can see where it's supposed to land. But child, a clock ain't got no numbers on it, and all it is a whole bunch of a circle. I can't tell that. Yeah, there's a lot of prejudice against like, yep, it is. It is. It's crazy. Look at Sean laughing at me. Yeah, it's sad. I don't tell a lot of people that because people will, and here's the thing, people will tag you as being not smart if you have something like a little issue like that. Like they will automatically box you in. And it's like, look, Reverend Gray laughing at me. It's like, but honestly, I don't care now. I used to but people will try to box you in on something, and then they'll try to use it against you. That's why you can't tell time on. I was telling my church today, I'm the type of I've gotten to the point, and I'm so thankful that I've gotten to the point where I do not take myself serious anymore, like as serious anymore, and I'm fine with it. I'm laughing too, right? I don't take myself serious. Little stuff like that, I could care less. That's how these little haters and stuff can get on here. I could care less about them folks. Let's see. What was your favorite part of the Bible? Ooh. Okay. I'm telling y'all, I love to laugh. My favorite part of the Bible. Man, I have so many favorite parts of the Bible. It's all the funny stuff that like I put myself in the Bible a lot of times. Like when I'm reading something, I explain this to my wife, or when I'm watching movies, I literally become in my mind a character in that, whatever I'm reading. So in the Bible, I become like whoever, like I'm one of the as I'm reading about like the Israelites, I'm one of the Israelites, like as I'm reading the story, or I'm one of the disciples as I'm reading about the disciples or whatever. I guess I mean, there's so much. You know what, and this one isn't funny, but I've been focusing on Jael for a minute and Cesario when I guess it is funny. I laugh at the funny at stuff that ain't supposed to be funny. Any case, so y'all remember I was telling y'all about judges and about Deborah, and Deborah was a judge of Israel, a woman, and Deborah told Barak, "Go and I want you to find Sisera, and I want you to kill him." And he was afraid to do it. So she's like, "Fine, I'll go too. But just so you know, you are not going to be the one to actually have victory. It's going to fall into a woman's hands." And so Sisera was tired. He went to the tent of this woman called Jael, and Jael's husband had gone away, and so she was there by herself. And so she saw him coming, and she was like, "Hey, Sisera, you want to come to my tent for a little bit? I'll make you some warm milk and we'll chill for a bit." And so he goes into her tent, and she makes him comfortable, gives him something to drink. He falls asleep, and Jael comes along with a tent stake. And I don't know why this is funny to me, but in any case, and drives it through his head. And I guess it's funny because when people think of women in general, and especially women in ministry, they don't understand the power that is even displayed in the scriptures when it comes to women. So I think one of what I've been focusing on a lot is not about violence so much. I'm looking at it from the perspective of not like physically hurting people, but being like a Jael in this sense that I am literally trying to drive a stake through the patriarchy, a stake through misogyny, a stake through homophobia, a stake through transphobia. Like I'm inviting it in and saying, hey, and then, like, and so that's one of my favorite parts of the Bible. I don't know if that made sense to y'all. And I hope y'all don't think no different about me now that I done told y'all what's been on my mind. But yeah, that's been on my mind a minute. I'm not a violent person. I promise you. I'm not. But that's been on my mind because I think it's just so powerful. It speaks to the power of women and what we are allowed to do, and now what we can do figuratively, even now as women. Yes, I told my church going cousin about you. She said, "Girl, whatever brings you to the Lord." Oh, red wine. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm thankful that the Lord is able to use me in all my weirdness. Like I said, I've learned not to take myself serious any longer, or as serious any longer. I've embraced my weird. Um, I've embraced who I am, and I just want to share that with someone else. I really believe that my authenticity, your authenticity, allows and makes way. And thank you all for the roses. Thank you, my lovely wife. Thank you, Jared. Makes way for someone else to be authentic. I'm thankful that even in my weirdness and my strange sense of humor and my that some of y'all get me and the rest of y'all tolerate me, and I really appreciate that because truly, I'm just trying to help somebody. Yeah. Let's see. What's a piece of advice that you wish you knew when? Uh-oh. Okay, you're still typing. Okay. Are you still typing? Maybe when I was younger? Someone asked, do I have a PhD? I don't. I've been considering it, but I have an MDiv, which is a Master's of Divinity. When I was younger. Okay, cool. Yep, a piece of advice I wish I had when I was younger. I guess it would go back to that. Be authentic. I think I spent a lot of time being and trying to please somebody else and not being me. And it had nothing to do with my sexuality. I think it just had to do with not being comfortable or happy in the skin I was in, and trying so hard to be something that people would like, instead of releasing myself of that and not caring. Because in the end, what I've noticed and what I've realized is people like authenticity most. And it doesn't matter who you are or how weird you are or whatever. Like, that's valued because you're unique and you're different. And the people who don't like that are not people that you really want to be around anyway. People that are wanting you to conform to them and be like what they want you to be and place you in a box, you're never going to make those people happy anyway. And you really don't want to be around them. The people you want to be around are the people who allow you to be you, and who appreciate you as you, in the fullness of you. As long as you're not hurting anybody and you're not hurting yourself and you're not, do up to no good, like I'm not saying like be you and who you think you is like this, bank robber or something like that. Like, as long as you're not like doing anything wrong, then the people you want to be around are those that are appreciating you for everything that you do right. So yeah, I wish I would have known that as a young person, because I think I would have saved myself a whole lot of trouble. And also, I think if I would have known that literally at the age of 18, you are now responsible for you, and don't allow your, and be responsible for you, for number one, right? And don't allow anyone to change the direction God is heading you in just because they don't like it. I think that would have helped me too, to listen to God and not people. What will you do in heaven? What will I do in heaven? I don't know. I don't know. I'll ask God. Do we have jobs in heaven? I don't know. Um, I am told that we will. It's a new heaven. It's paradise. So I don't know. I know what I hope I'm doing in heaven: chilling, hanging out, taking my rest. How do you reaffirm your How do you reaffirm your self confidence in hardnet? What? I'm not. Are you still typing? Whoa. Press that too fast. How do you reaffirm your self confidence? I'll let you finish typing. Somebody else had a question. Do you think the black church? Maybe what do I think of the black church? I love the black church. Let me see if I press that. Now I see flaws. I see flaws in the black church. I hate the way the black church follows behind the white church. I mean, like I say all the time, one of the reasons, in hardness, got you. I'm gonna answer that in just a second. One of the reasons that I am a stickler on even the black community, that movie, Pray Away, there's not any real black people in that movie, because Exodus and the Exodus movement tended to be, it was started in a white church, and it was a so-called, white thing. But sure as I know it, black people, all the black church, always goes and follows behind everything I see them do. We, when it comes to church, we don't think about for ourselves, and so I don't like that at all, because for years, we have accepted our people in our churches, in black church. We have accepted, because we allow, and we did more. We accepted folks. It was just a thing. We didn't do all this separating and segregating within the church. It was literally, being gay was just a thing, and people be like, "Oh, here comes so and so and they friend." I remember this as a little girl, and they didn't have any problem. Nobody was like, "They going to hell," or "Don't let them in," or "They can't serve," any of that. And it was just, "Oh yeah, that's so and so and they friend." Like, it wasn't like glorified or blown up or whatever, but oh yeah, he coming over here. Oh, he got another friend today. And and that was just the thing. It was just part of culture. And now all of a sudden, we trailing behind stuff that was happening in the 2000s. Now we starting to do it. And it was never that way before. So I don't like that. I don't like when I see that. But there's things that, I love the black church. I love the black church as far as, I think, and I know why it was necessary, and I even know why it's necessary now. It's necessary in the same way that gay church is necessary, if you want to call it that. And when I say black church and gay church or whatever, I'm talking, of course, I'm not talking segregation. I'm talking the flavor and the style of the church, and what is accepted and allowed in the church. Because for many, many years, black people were not allowed to hold any type of leadership role. There was a cap, there was a ceiling. And so in black church, we were able to create our own. And for the first time in those 40s and those 50s, men that were called boys at work were called sir and reverend and deacon in church. And the same thing for what we're going to call gay church in this sense, where we're not allowed to hold certain stature in a lot of the straight churches. So we've created our own. And for the first time, people that are looked down on as being dirty and all of this are seen and exalted for who they are. So I see the need. Yep, I see the need. Oh, hi, Past Mom. let me get back to this question. Oh, not in the first part of the question and disappeared. Hold on. I'm gonna find it. I think you said, how do I, oh, I'm glad you found me too, Levon. I done lost the second part of the question now. Or the first part of the question. Let me go back up here. Okay, how do you reaffirm your self-confidence in hardness? I'm not sure I understand the question. Let me just speak to reaffirming my self-confidence, period. Because that is an actual act of, that's a daily act. If not daily, then, weekly. Because there will be so many people to try to tear down your self-confidence on any given day. So for me, yeah, that's a daily act or a weekly act. That is affirmations. That is, in fact, I have a video, matter of fact, one of my very first ones, where I'm like, when I have to be around judgmental people, and I like did this little screen mirror thing where I'm talking to myself. Do you know how great you are? Do you know how beautiful you are? Do you know? Because I believe in affirmations. And just like David, if ain't nobody else gonna encourage me, I have to encourage myself. I'm blessed that I do have people to encourage me, and that includes you all, and that's why I do love y'all so much. I can't say that enough. But if I don't have people to encourage me in the moment that I need encouragement, I have me. And so for me, it's an ongoing thing. Remember who you are. Remember God loves you. Remember how the Lord feels about you. Remember, when you go into this space, do not be afraid, because he is with you. When you leave out of your house, know that the Lord goes before you. Like, these are affirmations that I'm telling myself, like, on a constant basis, So I think if that answers it. If not, then feel free to ask again, and so I can expound. Shameless. Why does this remind you of the show Shameless? I like that show, by the way. I haven't caught up on it. It's been a while. And mediation counseling offered in church? My church, it is. Sometimes it depends on what they need, what someone needs mediation and counseling for. I'll say that. Certainly relationships. And if it's something that because a lot of times a relationship issue is a communication issue, or something that can be handled in a few, let's talk about it sessions, which I think, personally, I feel qualified to give to my membership. If it's something that I don't feel qualified, however, I outsource. Or if it's something that I know that this is going to take like some for real deep, this is some deep-seated stuff, I outsource. And I think any good church is going to assess that and figure out, is this something that I can help through just listening? Because honestly, I'm not, and most pastors are not licensed to be giving like therapy, right? And so some are, but a lot aren't. But I can lend a listening ear, and I can talk, and I can give advice from the perspectives that I have, gone through. And if I feel like that's something and that helps, then absolutely. Reconciling sexuality and faith, absolutely. Especially if it's something that deals with Christianity, absolutely. But if it's like mental health, if it is, depression, if it is something like that, a good church outsource, or has someone on staff, if they're large enough, that is professional, that can help. A good church doesn't just come bring it down to the altar and pray for you when you're going through something serious like mental health. Like, a good church will pray for you, but then will say, let me give you the name and number to a professional that can help, right? So yeah, we have to be very careful, I believe, in as church people, to give people the resources that they need, because God has, after all, created these resources. like we just like when you go to the doctor, And I know there are some people that do this, that we just gonna pray everything away. The ailment that you have, you ain't gonna take no medicine. You're gonna get well just by prayer. I know that there are people like that. But then there are people like myself who say, we can pray over you, but at the same time, you need to go to the doctor to see about that high blood pressure to get it under control. So that then like, so common sense, right? Oh, how are you so awesome? I don't know that I am awesome, but since you say so, well, thank you. Attribute that to, I don't know. I don't know. To the Lord. Do you have any advice, young adults? Do you have any advice, young adults, pushed away? Pushed away from church, pushed away from family. Let me just answer from the perspective of pushed away in general. It's hard to be rejected. It is. It is hard to feel rejected. It's hard to be rejected by people, especially when they are family or, friends. It's hard. However, sometimes people pushing you away is necessary for your growth. Sometimes if you were to stay, it's actually a blessing. Sometimes if you were to stay in the situation, it would damage you more than the push away. Because sometimes there is a community that is waiting for you that you would never reach if you stayed. I'm telling you like I know it. Don't ever be afraid when people don't. I think TD Jake said it, but it resonated with me when I heard it. He said, I have the gift of goodbye. When people don't want me any longer, okay, good to go. I got it. Now, it might hurt my little feelings. I might be disappointed. Like I said, I get disappointed in people sometimes, but at the end of the day, it is better that I go, right? I would only be in your way. Remember, so I'll go. And so I know I think of you every day, but I'm going to leave because you're going to end up hurting me more if I stay, right? You're going to end up hurting me more. So I'll go and give you space, and I'll go find where I am wanted and loved and affirmed, because that's where I'm going to flourish anyway. Hopefully that answered your question. Thoughts on spirituality, astrology, and Christianity. I literally just taught a Bible study on this, to be honest with you, this past Wednesday. So go, and I'll give you a little bit of answer, but go to my Facebook page. Go to my link tree on my bio. Go to my Facebook page. It said, visit my church. Go there, and you will find the Bible study from this past Wednesday, because I talked about astrology and gemstones in particular, a little bit about herbs and Christianity, and the fact that we have lost a good amount of our faith. I believe has been lost in history. There are some that have preserved it. I don't know where they are, but I want them to speak up, because our faith was never designed to be as sterile as it is. It just wasn't. Like, Old Testament shows you how the priests were taught by God to utilize gemstones and utilize herbs and utilize this, the stars in the sky. The wise men came to Jesus and found him and knew he had been born by astrology. So yeah, check that out. I think you'll find it interesting. Awesome. So glad that you are here. God bless you. Where did I go for divinity school? Whew, child. I'm embarrassed. I went to Liberty University for my bachelor degree and my master's degree. So I went for both. There's a reason why I needed to learn what they learned. But that school, it's been in the news too many times for really horrible stuff, and it's frustrating. Do you have any online sermons that you do? Yes. On my church's YouTube channel, all of my sermons are there, or a good amount of them are there. So I don't know that I have linked my church's YouTube channel to my my link tree, but I think that's a good idea. I know my church, my where it says YouTube, that goes to my Godly and Gay channel, which it's got a few videos. I'm building it up now. But if you go to Agape Empowerment Ministries on YouTube, that's AGAPE Empowerment Ministries channel, then you will see all of our old videos. I'm going back. I mean, there's stuff from like 2009 on there, 2010. So it goes way back. Thank you for asking. Let me get back to the rest of that question. Okay, from family. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but you know what? And not but family is more than blood. Family is more than who you've been born into. Family is who loves you. Family, and I know it hurts. I know that hurts when folks that you've been born into don't consider you family or have left you. But the truth of the matter is, even they do not matter. Their opinion doesn't matter. It says more about them and who they are than it ever could say about you. Because I guarantee it, I'm not in your family. I don't know your family. But somewhere around the lines, I promise you, they will hold on to folks that have abused children in the family. And they'll keep them coming to the family reunions. They'll keep them around, but push away a gay person. And that might not be happening in your family, but it happens in families all the time, where they will protect folks that are abusers, men that beat their wives, but will tell the gay person they can't come or bring a partner or whatever. You don't need that, because there are plenty of communities that will love you exactly for who you are. I don't know if y'all hear the my little girls coming up here. Yep. Do I have plans on getting my PhD? I thought about it. Yep. Advice for closeted people for safety reasons. You have to do what's safe for you. You have to do what's safe for you. Personally, hello. I am a oh, it is past time.
Yeah, I gotta leave her to meet Christy at the extra storage and give her some math.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna answer this question, and you can send Boogie in here.
Huh?
You can send Maya in here.
She's in her room with Diva.
Oh, okay. I'll be off in just a second. You can keep the door open. Sorry about that, but I'm gonna answer this question. Then I gotta go. I lost track of time. I love y'all. But you have to do what's safe for you. And so, if coming out is unsafe, by all means, stay safe. I'm a stickler. And you probably have heard me, talk about authenticity and be loud about your sexuality and be, but there are exceptions to every single rule. And everything is not for everybody. And I'm going to speak from me, right? I don't think any less or any different about someone who tells me, for my safety, for my sanity, I got to stay in the closet. Cheer me on from the sideline. I'll go and speak out. Right? I don't think, and I'm not going to judge nobody for where they say they are, or anything. You do what's going to make and keep you safe, because in the end, it's really your safety that matters. If the time comes that you are in a safe space to come out, do so. Do so, and know that you will have people like myself and others that are right here to help you and to love on you as you do it. It's not an easy thing, but stay safe and make sure you're safe when and if you decide to do so. Yep. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, King Gemini. Thank you. I do need to go. My wife has to run an errand, and so if I don't go well, you know, my daughter will come in here, she gonna want to play and all of that, and so I do need to go ahead and spend some time with her and play with her and all that good stuff. So we are actually in the process of distributing some masks to people that need them. So you all continue to stay safe, continue to love on people as only you know how, because I find this, it is the people who have experienced the most rejection that know how to love the best in the end. Yep, because you know what it feels like to have the pain and you don't want to inflict it on someone else. So, but at the same time, you keep yourself safe and don't keep folks around that will hurt you and take advantage of the heart that you have. Right? That's for another talk, for another time. But any case, I love you all. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you guys enjoy Safe Space Sunday. We'll do it again. I believe I have a clear schedule next Sunday. I'll have to check my calendar, but check my page for a link. Check my link tree. In about an hour or two, I'm going to post this live. So if there's something that you missed, that you wanted to hear, that you think probably I covered during this live, you'll be able to catch it on the replay. It'll be on my YouTube channel, Godly and Gay. So I look forward to seeing you guys throughout the week as I do more content, and then hopefully I'll be able to do another live on next Sunday. God bless you guys. I love you. Always remember, God loves you. Bye-bye.